Nee, we gaan gewoon even starten. Dan beginnen we, want de laatste persoon die heeft even internetprobleempjes, maar dat wordt aangewerkt. Dat komt goed. Hi, good morning. It's morning for us, but no clue how late it is in the place where you guys are. Shall we start with introducing yourself so you can tell your name, where you're from, and what's your uh, actions, things, what you're doing for your people? So, Stephen, so should I give you the first?
Yes, yes, you can give that to me. Yeah, my name is Steven Dambuki. I'm from Kenya, specifically located in Nairobi, Mathare, and I'm more of a young Gen Z who stands up against inhuman choices about democracy here in Kenya. So I'm more of making being an activist against what government is not doing and is supposed to do. Yeah. So basically, that's what I'm currently at. Yeah.
Yes, thank you. So the next comrade is Lushuma. If I pronounce it wrong, please correct me.
Yeah, it's Lichuma.
Lichuma. Is okay. Thank you.
Yeah, so my name is Lichuma Davis or Dife, a human rights defender, active human rights defender, and also a frontline human rights defender, of which I work closely under the social justice movement working group. That is a movement of human rights defenders. So my work is actually to make sure the government is accounting for the things that should be happen. So also I stand for the things, the inhuman things that are happening, the violations that are happening. So generally, I am a human rights defender defending any violation against humans. So yeah, most of the time I'm the front line making sure that we are fighting for the justice for the people. Or in short, I am the voice of the voiceless in this society of Kenya.
Yes, thank you for your introducing. So my name is Alicina, and I'm one of the members of Rotterdam Palestinian Coalition, and also a member from Arts for Gaza, Dogs for Gaza. And this year we are organizing again the Glass House for Resistance. We are gonna try to get a lot of fundings, donations to spend on local groups and local people in Sudan, Congo, DR Congo, and Palestine to help the people there. I made some questions, and I think it's good to start with a little bit history because you guys are from Kenya, and a lot of people in the Netherlands doesn't know where Kenya is, in which continent, and doesn't even know about existing. So please take the floor.
So I will basically introduce Kenya. So Kenya is located in the continent of Africa, in East Africa. Uh, Kenya majorly was colonized by the Britain, by the British, and Kenya gained its independence in 1963. And since then, we have had different kinds of leadership. We have had different kind of uh, forums on how the country is run. So before in the early 90s, there were only two parties that were recognized by the government. But after that, we were able to get multi-partyism, which helped Kenya grow more politically. And also Kenya came up with the best constitution in 2010. Yeah. So Kenya is located in East Africa, and it's one of the best performing democratic countries on how people fight for their rights and uh, keep the government in check, especially in the last uh, 2 3 years since the last president was elected. The young people here in Kenya have been always putting into account to the government on what they are doing, to all inhuman experiences that they give to people, and to what they promise to do and what they are not doing. Yeah. So basically, that's what Kenya is. Yeah, as a country.
Okay, thank you for the explanation.
Maybe
Thank you for the explanation. You are one of the Gen Z, I think. It was you, right?
yes,
So
yes.
how did you got involved and why? Why are so many countries where the Gen Z are in the lead with the with the protest and protesting against their government, etc. Your mic is off. You can keep it on. You both can keep it on. So when I ask you something, you both can talk fluid. But you have still it off, Steven. It's still off. Let's see. Uh,
Fungua mic.
yes, now it
Ah,
works.
Okay, okay. Sorry for that. So I will explain how we Gen Z did this. So I'm very much grateful to the people who came up with this tech-wise that we have uh, right now. So basically, the government in the past 2 years.
Am I the only one who doesn't hear Steven, or no one of us?
fungua tukusikie.
Is your headphone still connected? Ah, okay.
Hatukusikii Steve. So,
Hey, kun je die Stefan even van techniek terugsturen? Yep. I still can't hear you. We proberen, hij heeft zijn microfoon aan, maar we hoorden hem niet.
En die andere hoor je wel.
Ja, die andere hoorde ik wel.
Dan ligt het waarschijnlijk aan zijn kant. Het
Oké.
is vaak ook dat je de video uit moet zetten en dan
Can you hear me right now?
een bandbreedte hebben voor video.
Ah, oké.
Dus dan moet je aan hun kant gewoon
Can,
de video uit laten zetten.
Okay.
bonga Steve.
okay.
So the
Yeah.
advice is to put your cameras off for because of the internet connection.
Wow. Okay. So let me try to put it off. Can you hear me right now?
Yes, this is better. Yeah.
Yeah. So as I was just saying about the Gen Z uprising.
Mm-hmm.
So the Gen Z uprising was not even well understood by the government on how we came up to come together. So basically, I can say uh, using the media, using the social media, and the technology that we have right now in this century uh, helped a lot. So the Gen Z here in Kenya are the most educated as a group, and being the most educated, they saw what is wrong and what is right. They were not able to be manipulated by the government on what the government is trying to do. So there was the proposal of the financial bill in the year 2024, and this financial bill, uh, the Gen Z decided to take a read of it because the group usually try a lot to understand what the government is trying to do. So
Mag het
after
binnen?
the Gen Z saw the
Doe het harder
financial
binnen.
bill, they were able to understand that this is a lot inhuman, and we were always organizing ourselves through Twitter or X, yeah, X formerly known as Twitter. So we were able to organize ourselves. There was so much civic education on what is not being done well, and people were being able to now fully understand on what the government is trying to do. And through this, we had no leader, uh, and the government always try to come and maybe manipulate us, maybe looking for who is the leader here, even trying to abduct certain people who they thought they were leaders. But there was no leader. We were all moving as a group, having one agenda, which is going against the inhuman activities that the government is doing upon us. So that's how we were moving. And this was a great movement because you could not shatter or try to turn off the movement because we had no leader whom we were following. And I can say our leader as Gen Z was the constitution that was built in 2010. So we were following the constitution, trying to make the government to keep in check with the constitution, not going against the constitution. Because here in Kenya, we say no one is above the law. And if no one is above the law, each and every individual, even those who are in the government, should try to follow the constitution as the citizens. Yeah. So that's how we oppose as the Gen Z here in Kenya. Yeah.
Okay, nice. Good to know that it's almost like the anarchist works without a leader, because they are all the same. They work in one level and not from up to down. Lishuma, you are the older one, and I see also that our third guest is also joined. We can come as soon as possible to you to introduce you. Lishuma, you are the older one, and how is it for you that the Gen Z is taking the lead, and how is the cooperation with this generation?
Yes. So as I said, I am Lichuma, a member of the social justice movement, and also a member of Ghetto Foundation, which is also the founding justice center of the movement. Ghetto Foundation was one of the justice centers that founded the movement, the social justice movement. So for us, I can say we have been on the front line making sure that our constitution is implemented, because we have one of the best constitutions in the world. But the problem comes when it's time to implement it. For example, I can say right now the president that we have, Mr. Ruto, when we were voting the constitution, he was against this constitution. So right now it's kind of a big challenge because the president that we have is not following the constitution, and for us is to make sure that the constitution that we have is implemented because it's friendly for the people, and the constitution gives the power to the people. And the president that we have is the one that he was the youth for the dictator president. So for me, I can say as a social justice as a social justice center, we have been frontline making sure that we face these challenges that we face in this country, we tackle it better. And for us, last year during the uprising of the Gen Z movement, we were frontline because we understand the Gen Z, it is the first time the Gen Z are going to the streets. And for us, we have been on the streets. So for us, it was more of working together with them, making sure that we are giving them the direction, or we are telling them the things that they should understand, so that they cannot also go against the constitution, because the constitution is the one that is leading us. So for us and the Gen Z, we have been working hand to hand since the uprising, and I can say we took the lead, and the Gen Z also came and overpowered and took more of the lead. So the problem now comes when the government starts to abduct people, and also to the extent of some of our comrades are losing their lives. And this has been a big challenge because right now our fight or our struggle is not only about economic rights or economic freedom. Our struggle now, it has expanded also to the level of holding these people. We call them these groups because what they think, they only think about themselves. There is no one who is thinking about the country. There is no one who is thinking about the people. The constitution tells us that we are supposed to live in a good environment, to live in good house. We are supposed to live to have a good quality of food, clean waters. But the situation on the ground speaks otherwise. And this is something that we have been pushing the government to implement the constitution, not to amend, but to implement the constitution. Because if we follow the constitution, then the lives of the citizens of Kenya will be better. But since we have those people who think about past themselves and their circles, that's where we come. That's where a problem comes in. So for me, I can say I have been frontline, holding the government accountable. I don't know. We have been. I have been arrested several times. I can't even say how many times I have been arrested. I have been also been intimidated, threats. These are the things that these people, the language they only understand, they can do that. They threaten you. They come and intimidate you. Sometimes you are just sitting with the group of young people, trying to just sensitizing, talking about the state of the country, and then they will come and arrest you and take you to sell and to hold you up, just to sell fear, so that you don't continue with the work that we do. But this has not been it has not been successful, because it is something that we decided. We cannot be silent while the country is going wrong, because the coming generation, they are depending on us. We don't want the question that we asked those people who are older than us: where were you when these things were happening? We don't want this question. We don't want us to be asked these questions again. So we want the country whereby we have law and order is being maintained. The country where the executive and the people who are we have elected to work for us, they should the people who are following the constitution. So it has been a struggle, I can say. For me, for over 8 years, I have been making sure I've been making sure the government is accountable. But so far, we are still pushing. And what made me really happy was last year. I am used to going to the streets with a number of maybe 30, 70 to 100, sometimes 300 people on the street to demand for justice and to demand for a good life for the people. But last year, we broke a record. We were thousands and thousands to the streets. And that's why we took charge and make sure that the Gen Z, they follow what is right. And when we entered the parliament, that was the sign of saying like yeah, this parliament does not exist because the parliament is not doing their job. So we took down parliament, and even right now as we speak, we told the people who are in government, the MPs, that we don't recognize them. So we are just waiting for election to take them out because the government has played their role of making sure that the people, the independent electoral commission, they are not taking our signatures because we during last year's uprising, we discussed this of recalling our MPs, members of parliament, recalling them and doing a new election, electing the people, electing the leaders who will represent the people in parliament, not the leaders who will represent themselves in parliament. So it has been a struggle, and we are still pushing the struggle. We are still in this struggle until I can say until we have the Kenya that we want, until we have the country that we all dream of. Yes.
So a lot of trouble there because of the government and because of some egos. Am I right?
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. So we are going now first to our third guest, Leila. Are you there?
Yes, hi.
Hi, can you introduce yourself, please, and tell us who you are, where you're from, and what you are doing, and why are you resisting against your government?
Okay, so my name is Leila Saman. I'm a sixth year medical student. I come from Morocco. And the reason why we were protesting against our government, it came from a very specific place, medical education and the responsibility that comes with being a doctor. So over the past few years, I was involved in a nationwide student movement that kind of emerged in a response to reform of medical training. And so what started as technical questions about the curriculum, the supervision, and patient safety slowly turned into a collective act of resistance. So for us, activism was not ideological. It was practical. It was about defending the conditions under which future doctors are trained, and therefore the quality of care patients will receive. And this experience taught me that resistance does not look loud or confrontational in this case, even though it took a very, very long time. It was a strike of that lasted for more than a year, but it was persistent. It was persistence. It was collective. It was refusing to move forward when the foundations are not safe. So basically, each faculty of medicine in all of the country decided to stop going to hospital rotations, to boycott exams, to boycott lectures, and it was very stressful. It was a very stressful time, but we did not give up. We kept having our peaceful protests, even when we were treated like criminals sometimes by the police. We were sometimes attacked by the public. The public opinion was against us. They thought we were selfish. They thought we were greedy. We just wanted more money. So even under these conditions, I remember we used to go on national sit-ins in Rabat. It's the capital of Morocco, and sometimes we would be more than 5,000 medical students reunited to protest for the quality of our education training. We would stay for hours in front of the parliament to protest, to say no to the reform. And at the end, we eventually got what we wanted. So it showed us that of it, what it showed us, it's that we showed how activism was like in practice, and how students organized, and what this experience says about civic engagement in my community.
Yes, thank you for your introduction. I've already wrote some more questions.
Mhm.
Uh, f- I'm gonna ask you the first one.
Mhm.
You said something about medical education, and that it was only the medicine, the students from medicine. Was it only
Yeah.
the medical students, or were other people also involved? And uh, yeah, how did it work?
Okay, so should I tell you the whole story?
You can start somewhere, yes, sure.
Okay, so it started when I was a second year medical student. At the time, I was a class representative and a member of the Medical Students Council and the Pedagogical Committee. It's the body that oversees everything related to medical education, curriculum, exams, schedules, and hospital rotation. And that's when we learned that medical studies in Morocco would be reduced from 7 years to 6, following an official royal statement. So that's very important to understand that in Morocco, when uh, we're a monarchy. So when an official royal statement is issued, it's not a proposal. It's a decision that's expected to be applied. So at first, of course, we did not protest. I mean, what are you going to say against the king? So we just asked questions. We through the National Commission of Medical Students, la CNEM, we asked to meet the Ministry of Higher Education, the Ministry of Health, and we were told that the reform would apply to students who were in their third year in 2022. So then we were open to discussion, but we kind of asked for clarifications, for guarantees, for red lines. And instead, the ministry told us, you propose the program. So they were expecting us, medical students, to redesign a national curriculum. And at the same time, we learned that our diploma would no longer be a doctor of medicine, but a medical degree. And that graduates would be considered family doctors, even though family medicine normally requires postgraduate specialization. So you can understand why we were confused. And then they added two more decisions. They announced a 20% increase in student intake and the integration of Moroccan medical students returning from Ukraine, without increasing hospital training capacity. Knowing that we made demands before 2019 about making the hospital infrastructure better to receive more medical students, because we're already at our limit. And then they started proposing some weird solutions, like we're gonna do territorial help groups, where you're gonna have masters of training, people who are gonna be prepared in 6 months, knowing that a professor who supervises medical students normally is gonna require years of clinical, academic, and pedagogical training. So that's kind of when our concern turned into certainty. It was that the reform was being implemented without answers. And so if you remember, I told you that I was a second-year medical student and that the reform would apply to the third-year medical student in 2022. So fast forward to 2024, fifth-year medical students were about to be directly affected. So they did not know when they would take the internship exam, because supposedly their next year would be their last. We didn't have any clarification on the program, on what exams we would take, on whether clinical exams would be organized or not, how residency selection would work. Because to understand why this is alarming, you need to understand the system. We do 2 first years of preclinical training. Then from the third year onward, students, they train in hospital during the third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and seventh year. And in the sixth year, you can take an internship exam, which can determine access to very, very competitive specialties and the type of contract they will have. And then in your seventh year, you pass your clinical exams. And then after your seventh year, you can pass your residency exam if you didn't pass the internship exam. So what they were trying to do, they were trying to compress the sixth year and seventh year into one. And we started getting worried about the quality of our training, because it would mean we would not go through some hospital rotations that were very important to our medical education. And that's kind of when we voted. And that's when the boycott began. So, and it was kind of terrifying, because in Morocco, we like to say that every 4 years we do a boycott, because there's always a problem in the medical system. And I can say that medical students are very rebellious. They do not accept anything. They want to be the best doctor they can be for their patients. So we already had a failed boycott in 2019. So we knew the risks of losing an academic year, of repeating, of even expulsion. But still, between 80 and 90% of public medical students across Morocco joined. So we boycotted hospital rotation, lectures, exam, and it was organized very carefully. I was a group representative. I was not a member of the Medical Students Council, but I was a representative of the group I was in during my hospital rotations. So it's very fun to say, yeah, I'm not going to pass the exams. I'm not going to the hospital. I'm not going to my lectures. But when the day of the exam arrives, it's you get very anxious. It's very stressful. And you start asking yourself, am I actually fighting for the right cause? Is it really that big of a deal? So we had a WhatsApp group where we would meet up the days of the exams, and we would chat over coffee. And well, we did that for not a week, not a month, but it was more than a year. And we organized peaceful sit-ins across the country. In December 2023, a national open strike, so it began. And then in January 2024, we officially boycotted the exam, if I remember well. In July 2024, the movement escalated because the government issued a declaration where they tried to increase our pay for us to go back to our schools. And then we had a national march in Rabat in July 16th in front of the parliament. And we had on September 25th, a nighttime sit-in Rabat that was violently dispersed by police. So during this boycott, we were literally treated like criminals because we cared about the quality of care we were going to give our patients. Because every medical student used to say, I don't feel that with this reform I started with, because we started with a certain reform. You can just come at my fourth year and say, okay, I'm going to change the next 2 years, and the quality of your education is not going to suffer from it. So a lot of students were saying, I don't feel ready to be a doctor. I don't feel qualified enough to be a doctor. I refuse to take care of patients with this little knowledge I have. So students were arrested. Some were detained for 24 hours. The police would not give them food. They would not let them sleep or go to the bathroom. They would be a lot in one cell, so that it would be very uncomfortable. Our representatives, I was very lucky because I resigned from my position before the boycott, but a lot of representatives were prosecuted by the police. They were interrogated. Some were detained for a very, very long time. Some parents who supported us were sometimes pushed or assaulted, and the public narrative turned against us. So, as I said, we were called selfish, greedy, irresponsible. We were accused of fighting for money and 7th-year allowances, which didn't make any sense, because if money had been the issue, graduating earlier would have benefited us. So we were fighting for training quality, patient safety, and the psychological toll was heavy, because many students developed anxiety and depression. I personally have lost weight. I lost half my hair. I think you saw how short it was. It's because I cut it. And I developed also severe anemia. But what kept me going was the solidarity we had and my involvement in IFMSA Morocco, which gave meaning to the struggle. And at some point, the ministry just decided, in order to fix this, to stop recognizing the CNEM, the National Commission of Medical Students, and meetings were refused. We were told to accept the reform or leave. And there were even suggestions that private medical schools would replace us. So it didn't break us. It united us, because we were not gonna give in just because of some threats. And our sit-ins became symbolic. We carried mock tombs labeled medical education in Casablanca. We organized a silent candlelight vigil at night. And after more than a year, the government finally understood that we were not leaving. And our first victory was when we saw on the news that the Minister of Higher Education was dismissed. And we were so happy, because he used to belittle us so much in interviews. He would say in Arabic, "دخلوا تقراوا وليداتي," which means just go back to studying, my little kids. the minister of health would say that we were a product. He would not even call us as medical students. He would say we are forming people who are going to become a product. And when the Minister of Higher Education was dismissed, we were very happy, and the new minister was appointed. Then negotiations resumed seriously under the mediation of the institution of the meerdere of the kingdom. And in November 2024, an agreement was signed. So students who started under the 7-year system would complete 7 years, and new cohorts would follow the 6-year system. So sanctions were lifted, and the exams were. It was a very, very hard year. It was scary. It was really scary, but it would warm my heart whenever I would go to Rabat, and sometimes we would go up to 8,000 medical students from all around the country. I'm talking coming from Marrakech, from Oujda, from Tanja. It's hours and hours of train. And they would come to Rabat, to the sit-in. They would protest with such passion and such energy, and such you could feel the love for their patient through their protest. And that's how a little group, not even every medical student, because there are public and private schools. So we had a very bad prognostic in the beginning. We thought it wouldn't work. We thought we were too little. We thought we wouldn't have any impact, and still we tried because we decided to stand for what is right. And eventually we got what we wanted.
Okay, yes, thank you. I wrote again a few questions.
Yeah, of course.
For now, we're gonna switch to the storytellers because we are raising money for Congo, Sudan, and Palestine to help the people there. And the first reader will go and stand to start. I will put my mic on so you guys can listen, and I will turn the camera also for you guys around. It is in Dutch, but maybe it's nice to see and hear about it. And after that, we will switch to our comrades in Kenya. Jullie mogen beginnen met verhalen, hè? Ja, nu. Dat zeg ik net.
Hoor mijn verhaal, deel mijn strijd. Je luistert naar Het Glazen Huis van Verzet. Van 19 tot en met 22 december vanaf het Schouwburgplein in Rotterdam. Samen komen we in verzet en halen we geld op voor de Democratische Republiek Congo, Palestina en Soedan. 3 landen verbonden door een kapot systeem. 3 bevolkingen die strijden tegen genocide en onderdrukking. Samen komen we in actie. Ga naar www.hetglazenhuisvanverzet.nl. Luister, strijd, doneer.
Het verhaal van Luanda Wema. Ik heet Luanda Wema. Ik ben 35 jaar oud en ik ben zwanger. Tijdens de bevalling zal ik worden gesteriliseerd. Ik wacht om te bevallen in het Welcome Village dat MSF heeft opgezet voor zwangere vrouwen in het ziekenhuis van Masisi. Een ziekenhuis in Noord-Kivu dat door MSF wordt ondersteund. Ik ben te voet hierheen gekomen vanuit Nyabiondo. Dat is meer dan 20 kilometer hier vandaan. Ik vertrok om 6 uur 's ochtends en kwam om 5 uur 's middags in Masisi aan. Ik was uitgeput. Ik zou graag een gezondheidskliniek in mijn eigen dorp willen hebben. Ik moest door de regen lopen en het was koud. Mijn man kwam met me mee, maar ging daarna terug naar het dorp. Ik ben nu bijna een maand in het ziekenhuis van Masisi. Het grootste deel van de tijd rust ik hier. Ik probeer mijn krachten te sparen voor de bevalling. Ik verblijf in het slaapzaaltje, lig in bed en luister naar de voorlichtingssessies. Ik heb hier vrouwen ontmoet die ik uit mijn dorp ken. En ik heb ook nieuwe vriendinnen gemaakt. We praten over de bevalling, vergelijken wat we hebben geleerd tijdens de sessies en praten over ons leven. We praten over alles, het goede en het slechte. Voor de oorlog had ik dieren en een klein bedrijfje. Nu is alles geplunderd. Ik ben bang, want onderweg kwam ik gewapende mannen tegen die ik niet kende. Ze vroegen om geld. Ik gaf ze bananen. Ondanks alle moeilijkheden van de oorlog moeten we voor onze kinderen zorgen. Ik wil dat ze kunnen studeren. Maar als ik vooruit kijk, zie ik alleen maar moeilijkheden. Ik ben Luanda Wema. Hoor mijn verhaal. Deel mijn strijd.
Je luistert naar Het Glazen Huis van Verzet.
Hussam en Ahmed Abu Samra. Wij waren Hussam 21 jaar en Ahmed 20 jaar. 2 jonge mannen, 2 broers. 2 levens vol dromen, hoop en plannen voor de toekomst. Wij waren beide computeringenieurs uit Gaza. Met ambities die verder reikten dan de grenzen van onze stad. We droomden van een masteropleiding, van kennis die de wereld zou kunnen veranderen. Van een leven dat betekenis zou geven aan alles waar we voor werkten. Maar onze levens werden op wrede wijze weggerukt. Ons huis werd getroffen door een Israëlische luchtaanval en samen met familieleden en vrienden vonden we daar ons einde. Onze dromen, onze ambities, alles wat we nog wilden bereiken, werd in 1 klap vernietigd. Hussam werd vermoord in januari 2024, Ahmed in juli 2024. 2 broers, 2 jonge levens die nooit de kans kregen om te bloeien, achtergelaten in herinnering en verdriet. Wij waren Hussam en Ahmed. Hoor ons verhaal, deel onze strijd.
Je luistert naar Het Glazen Huis van Verzet.
Grenzen. Ons team heeft levensreddende activiteiten uitgevoerd op de kinderafdelingen en kraamafdelingen, in de verloskamer en in het kader van initiatieven voor gezinsplanning. Sinds juli 2023 hebben we duizenden patiënten geholpen met genezing, door consulten te geven aan ziekenhuispatiënten en polyklinische patiënten en door vrouwen bij te staan tijdens de bevalling. Deze ervaring heeft mijn toewijding aan de mensheid versterkt. Voordat de oorlog ons overschaduwde, werkte ik in een ander MSF-project dat ondersteuning bood aan het Omdoorman ziekenhuis en de omliggende gebieden en medische hulp bood waar dat nodig was. Door de oorlog waren mijn familie en ik gedwongen te vluchten naar El Gadaref, vanwaar ik later bij het MSF-team in het Dawaban-project kwam. Nu ben ik in Port Sudan, waar ik onze mobiele kliniekactiviteiten ondersteun en de verpleegkundige activiteiten voor andere projecten in het land coördineer. Ondanks de verwoesting hebben we onze missie voortgezet en ben ik de rol van verpleegkundige en supervisor gaan vervullen om ervoor te zorgen dat onze verpleegkundigen diensten blijven draaien. Het Oemdawanban ziekenhuis is de belangrijkste operationele faciliteit in dit gebied. Zelfs wanneer we voor uitdagingen staan, zoals een patiënt met ernstige diabetes die bewusteloos en in kritieke toestand binnenkomt, blijkt onze medische ondersteuning essentieel te zijn om leven en vele andere levens te redden. De vreugde om zulke patiënten te zien herstellen en het ziekenhuis verlaten houdt ons vastberaden om door te gaan en herinnert ons eraan waarom we deze medische humanitaire hulp voortzetten. Door de negatieve schaduw van de oorlog is de relatie met patiënten niet beperkt gebleven tot het professionele aspect van arts en patiënt, maar is deze menselijker geworden, waarbij we ons inleven in het lijden waarmee zij te maken hebben bij het verkrijgen van toegang tot de huidige gezondheidsvoorzieningen. Nu we het eerste jaar van de oorlog markeren, doet het me pijn om het leed dat deze heeft veroorzaakt. Honger, een gebrek aan gezondheidszorg en een onzekere toekomst. Toch zijn het de persoonlijke verhalen van degenen die we helpen, hun uitdagingen, maar ook hun hoop, die onze relatie transformeren van louter medisch naar diep menselijk. Ik ben Ala Ahmed. Hoor mijn verhaal en deel mijn strijd.
Hoor mijn verhaal, deel mijn strijd. Je luistert naar Het Glazen Huis van Verzet. Van 19 tot en met 22 december vanaf het Schouwburgplein in Rotterdam. Samen komen we in verzet en halen we geld op voor de Democratische Republiek Congo, Palestina en Soedan. 3 landen verbonden door een kapot systeem. 3 bevolkingen die strijden tegen genocide en onderdrukking. Samen komen we in actie. Ga naar www.hetglazenhuisvanverzet.nl. Luister, strijd, doneer.
So we are back. First of all, I will say something in Dutch because people need to donate. Luisteraars, kijkers, loon is net binnengekomen. Doneren. Ga naar de website Het Glazen Huis voor Verzet. Daar zit een donatielink, knopje. En doneer gewoon even je hele loon. Want de 13e maand komt er ook aan. En die heb je echt niet allemaal nodig. Alvast bedankt voor je donatie. En dan schakelen we nu weer terug naar onze kameraden in Kenia. Comrades in Kenia. Steven, you wanted to say something. The floor is yours.
Yes. So what I basically wanted to say is, I think from Leila's side, I think we have something in common with our governments. So what I recently noticed is that our governments are always coming up with solutions when they see you uprising. So they come up with the solutions maybe that you don't need. And the solutions are not always on what you have been maybe coming up against about. So basically, I will give an example. I will give an example as a story. So basically, let's say there is a barber, someone who shaves hair here in Kenya. And his main problem is that he does not have customers coming to his barber shop. And when you have this, it's because maybe of the economical challenge many Kenyans are facing for them to go to the barber shop. And when this barber faces this, he's invited to the State House. And when he is invited to the State House, the president offers to give him the shaving machine. And he goes back to his barber shop with the shaving machine. And to summarize this, the president will go out and boast of how and what he has done to the barber. But to this barber, none of his problem is solved because he had initially had the shaving machine. And that was not his problem, having the shaving machine. His problem was not having customers. And that's how the government works. The government comes up with solutions and doing things that it's not solving the current challenges that we're having. For example, we as the Gen Z, we were always thinking about how corrupt the government is, how the government is making the economy hard for us. But how does the government respond? The president comes out posting around of how he has built the residential homes to curb the challenge of housing that we have. But we did not raise that kind of challenge. And the president will boast that out, saying that I have done this, I have built more residential homes, more of the residential homes, more roads. But we as Kenyans and we as the Gen Z, we were not protesting about the having the houses. We were protesting about ensuring that the constitution is followed, ensuring that the economy is at its best, so that each and every Kenyan can enjoy the life that the life that it's hard to have. Yeah. So basically, that's what the governments are trying to do. So trying to compare on what Leila said, the government has been giving solutions which are not the problems that were raised by the protesters or the people who are protesting. So that's what we basically have in common. The government tries to do what they want, not what the people want. And that's not democracy. Democracy is doing for the people, with the people, and by the people. And that's not what we receive. The government always acts as they are the one to say on what you need to have, but it should not be that way. We demand what we need, even if we need, maybe we need something small. That's what we need, and that's what the government should be respecting of. And they are not respecting of what we are trying to raise. So basically, the government should try to be listening more to people and doing more of what the people want, rather than trying to do what they were proposing they want to do. Yeah. So basically, that's the biggest challenge that the government is facing. I don't know if maybe the executive or the people in the executive in the government of Kenya are trying to maybe cover their faces, making their faces to look good internationally by maybe building the houses, building the infrastructure. Yet the people in the country are more suffering. The people in the country did not say they want housing. The moment you have a good economy, good running government, good, everything is good, the houses will come. The good houses will come. Each and everything will improve by itself. But the government wants to try and paint the country to be good, so that the people who come from outside, they see these good infrastructures that we have in Kenya, good infrastructure that we have in the good roads. But basically, you cannot build, let's say, example, a hospital without having paying good the medical team in the hospitals. You have a good hospital with maybe even 8 floors, with good, with every kind of. But here in Kenya, we need each and everyone to be lifted up, not only lifting up the infrastructure. That will come up with the flow after you give people what they want. Yeah. So basically, that's what I was trying to say with what Leila raised. Yeah, it was good that she raised that, because we have that in common with this kind of governments each and every day. Even our neighbors, Tanzania, of what they were facing, they did not want to face that kind of challenge where the opposing leaders are arrested. They cannot even be voted for because they are arrested. That's the kind of challenge we have with these leaders, and that's leading to what we have. Each and every leader is greedy with what they want, and basically, because I'm a drawing artist, when I draw these leaders or I paint these leaders, I always paint them with the face of pigs. I don't want to be biased on this is the leader that
We can't hear you, Steven. We can't hear you. I don't know if it's a connection problem.
Let's see.
I just put the
Stivo,
face of pig.
umekatia kiasi, Stivo.
Can you hear me right now?
Yes, now we can hear you.
Sorry, there was someone calling my phone. I guess it interrupted with my network.
Yeah.
Sorry. So I was saying I'm an artist. I'm a painter. So what I do, I paint for justice. For example, when I paint these leaders that we have, I usually refer to them as pigs because that's what they are. I don't want to seem much abusive, but that's what they are. Because they are only greedy. As you see, as a good example of a pig, it always eats and eats and eats. It doesn't know what. It doesn't want to know what it's. And that's the kind of leaders that we have. They always eat, being greedy for themselves. And when we elected these leaders, they were to be more of representing us internationally or nationally through the parliament. But when they go to the parliament, to other parts of the world, they don't represent us as the people of Kenya.
Yeah, again, some disconnection with the internet. Lishuma, can you maybe step in and take the floor?
Hello.
Yes, hi, we hear you.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. I think on my part as a human rights defender, I would like to maybe expand my conversation on what we face as human rights defenders in this country. As I said, I have been in this struggle for over 8 years. And what I've learned or what I've seen from this regime of dictators, I call them dictators because they don't follow the constitution. They do things on their own. So I am calling them dictators, and I'm not ashamed and I'm not afraid to call them that. So what I've faced these people, the Constitution, Article 1 of the Constitution gives all sovereign power to the people, and as it says, people we can exercise it directly or indirectly. And in the same Constitution, we have Article 37, which gives us the people gives us a freedom to demonstrate, the right to demonstrate, the right to picket, the right to deliver petition. So most of the time when we want to deliver a petition to the office of the president or the minister, we usually we first give a notification. And in this notification we notify them that we will be having a procession to deliver the petition to a certain office. And why do I call these people dictator? Is because even after delivering a notification, what they do is they want like the police. They want to be like, it is like we are asking them. So they are like, we are not going to give you a go ahead for this demonstration. And this is where we come in and say, no, we don't want your permission to do demonstration or to picket. what the Constitution entails is that we should just deliver a notification to you just to tell you where we are going, and it is your mandate as police service to give us security so that we don't have people from outside or people who are people to come and infiltrate and do bad things and say that it was us. So this is where the challenge comes in. After delivering a notification, most of the government offices, they don't take our notifications. They reject it. And that's where, as human rights, we come on board and say, okay, we know our rights, and the Constitution has given us this permission to do to deliver the petition. When we are delivering the petition, most of the times we encounter with police officers, or we call them police force, because they are not doing the service. This time on, we don't have a police. The Constitution says that we should be having a police service, but instead of police service, we are having police force. So most of the time when we are on the streets, we get police force there. They try to stop us not to reach the place, or not to reach the place where we are supposed to be. And that comes in when they try to throw tear gas, even beating the comrades. So most of what we do as human rights is to make sure that we are maintaining peace while delivering the petition. But while doing this, the police force comes on board, and instead of maintaining that peace, they come violently. That's where you find comrades are being beaten, comrades are being arrested, and sometimes comrades get abducted and they just disappear like that. For instance, I can say right now we have I think it's over 70 people that are missing, enforced disappearance by police, by the government, by this regime. And this is just a way to make sure that they sell fear to the comrades, or they intimidate the people who are aspiring to join the movement or aspiring to join the cause. And this one has been, I can say it has been a challenge for us as human rights defenders to make sure that we are holding the government accountable for what they do. As I mentioned, the Constitution says that all sovereign power belongs to the people. But now the government that we have does not recognize the people. They only recognize the people like when we are going to election. Like I can say, in this country, we will be going to election in 2027. So that means we have only 2026 to prepare ourselves. But even going to this election period, they still not. We don't have faith with the IEBC, that is electoral commission that is supposed to take charge of election process. Now, for we human rights, we are, or the state has put us in a position. They call us. They have called us names like we are disturbers, peace disturbers. We are people who don't have anything to do. We are just critiquing the government, even if they do the right thing. But if you come to the reality and see what good things that the government have done, you will find that there is none. I think the only good thing that our government does is to loot public funds and to loot things that are supposed to benefit the people of this country. My challenge mostly comes when we are doing a positive thing. Like right now, for us as human rights defenders, what we defend mostly is the Constitution. We defend the Constitution because the Constitution is the only thing that is defending the people, and it's the only hope that we have as the people of this country. Because if we lose this constitution, or if the government manages to amend it, then there are some parts whereby people of this country will have to suffer more, and the government, people in government, will have to enjoy more. So we are trying to break that gap, to break that bridge that we have these people. We cannot be electing people just to go and benefit themselves. We are electing the leaders that we have faith that will go there and speak on behalf of the people. What really angers us is like an example after last year's uprising, Gen Z uprising. After Mr. Ruto said that he has conceded defeat and the finance bill will not go ahead. After 1 month, the MP is called Ishugwa, came on media in parliament and publicly said that we passed the bill. Even after you were on the street, we still passed the bill. So this is the ignorance that we have in the government. And for us, we don't want to have people with ignorance. We don't want to have leaders that are ignorant. We want to have leaders that are working for the people. When a leader is working for the people, that means the people will benefit. But when the leaders, they are working for themselves and protecting their circles, that's where exactly the problem comes in. So for this government on human rights, it has been a very, I can say it is a very emotional and something that is sad, because as I said, over 70 people are still missing up to now. That is more than 70 people. They are still missing. And the government are the one who are responsible for this. Not a private people, not a private entity, it is the government. And we cannot be having, as for us as human rights, we say we cannot be having a government that is hurting its people. So we depend on you, we depend on these guys to protect us. And instead of protecting us, they are the ones who are hurting us. They are the ones who are taking the lives of human rights defenders. They are the ones who are making intimidations. Even when we are on the street delivering petition, most of us frontline human rights defenders, we get beaten up by the police when there is no media close. They step on your head, they beat you like on the ribs. I remember last year I almost I almost lost my ribs because I got beaten by a very big sticker that it's I don't know how to call it, but it was a very big thing that hit me on the ribs. And the officer that did that is someone who I can really recognize. I know him, like I was asking him. Imagine we are fighting for the betterment of the future. We are fighting because we want a better country. We are fighting because we want these things that we are able to, we are not able to access, so that we can be able to access. We are not demanding something that is outside of our constitution. No, we are demanding something that is within the constitution, and that is a better life for the people. Where I live in Kenya, specific in Madare, we are not living in a good environment. Our house structures are made of irons, and when we come to the constitution, we are not supposed to be in that situation. It is upon the government to make sure that they have built a good house and make sure that those people who cannot afford to live in those people who cannot afford to pay for a good house, they can access that one. And also, we have a lot of kids, children in the community who are not accessing education. So this is another problem. it is government's mandate to make sure that we have enough schools, that every kid should go to school. But right now, education is becoming for the rich people, but the poor, they cannot access the education. So this is also the thing that we are fighting, because the constitution gives us that every person has a right to access education. And also another thing is, when we speak about health, health has become now something that people who have money, they can benefit from that. Like here, we don't have the hospital whereby an MP can go and have a medic. So our representatives, instead of building a hospital whereby even if they are sick, they can access it, they are not doing that. So the money, the funds allocated for health, they just take it and put it to their pockets, leaving the people hanging, just like that. And when they get sick, what they do is just board a plane and go to outside, like in India for medic, or go to abroad to access medical. So this is something that it is a gap that we still have. When we speak about the water that we are drinking in Madare, we can say that the water that we are drinking is good, because the piping, where it is coming, also the water is rationed. You know, the constitution says that we should have enough adequate water, but we are not accessing these things. This is the problem that we are seeing. So when we go and tell them we want this to be the right way, they don't see that. Right now in this community, we have a lot of extrajudicial killings. A lot of young, like since I came to know myself, the number of the youth that has been killed in this community, I think it's numberless. I cannot count them. I've counted until I cannot continue counting, because the number is still growing and growing and growing. So they are creating a space whereby they want us to keep begging and asking, and that is something that we don't want. We don't want to beg, we don't want to borrow. We want to be given the things that the Constitution gives us. So I think for us as human rights, this has been our challenge. The things that are spoken is in the Constitution of Kenya under Article 43 that makes sure that these are the things that a common citizen needs. A common citizen needs this one. But instead of delivering it, they are the ones who are taking the funds and go away. So for me, I think this has been the challenge for us as human rights defenders while delivering the petitions, and it's something that it has been affecting us. The comrades that are missing, I cannot give you the real number, because we have a lot of comrades. Even we have comrades who have gone into hiding because they are afraid of this regime, the regimes that kills its own people, the regime that takes lives of its own people. So, like, it is wrong to ask for what is right. You know, they say we are disturbing. We cannot be disturbing you when we are asking something that is really meant for us to access it. So it has been a war, and that's why I'm saying we are still in war, and this struggle we don't know, but we still hope that this struggle we will win it, because without pushing it, there is no change that is going to happen. Right now, as we speak, we have a very lying dictator. He's very good in lying. He's very, very good in lying. And instead of creating other opportunities, they are minimizing it. So, like I can say, we have Mr. Ruto. I call him Mr. Ruto because I don't recognize him as a president. I recognize him as just a person who went there for his own benefit. Instead of working for the people, now he's working for himself. Now, this guy, instead of building more infrastructure to make sure that the youth of this country, because we are the majority, the youth in this country, we are over 60% youth in this country. But instead of seeing that we are the majority and we need a sustainable life, instead of making sure that the youth access the jobs, the youth access the opportunities that the government have, they are limiting. They don't want the youth in their spaces. Example, like our government. Our government is our government. The people who are in government, I can say 98%, they are older people, and the 2% are the youth. And when you come to the real number, you can find over 60% are youth in this country. So this is where the problem comes in. We are many, but we are jobless. What are we going to do next? Instead of this guy creating spaces or creating opportunities for these youths, he's limiting them. Instead of making sure that we access. Hello, can you guys hear me?
Yes, we hear you.
Yes, we can.
Okay, so instead of making sure that the youths are the one who are benefiting from this government, they are blocking the youths. The youths have no access to that. So now the youths have come to make together, making sure that we have one voice and will demand for what is rightful ours. What is rightful ours to make sure that we don't face the number of the youths being killed or executed by the police, because this is something that the government wants. We don't want the youth to. We don't want to bury our fellow youths. We want to bury the older people because they have come. They have aged. But instead of doing that, the youths are the ones who are being killed. So,
but
I can say that.
Yishmo, I'm so sorry. I just want to jump on what you just said.
Okay.
It's that I think the problem is kind of in our thinking, because we believe that the government should care about us. The problem is the government doesn't. And we in Morocco, we had in 2025 Gen Z led protests. It was so protesters voiced demands for dignity, accountability, social justice. They called attention to the rising cost of living, the employment, the precarious work, social inequalities. And the perception that economic growth benefits only a small segment of society. Also, a greater freedom of expression, especially solidarity with Palestine, because I don't know if you know this, but Morocco has an official agreement with Israel. Morocco normalized relations with Israel as part of the Abraham Accords, and in return, the United States recognized Morocco's sovereignty over the Western Sahara. But the problem is the people, the heart of Morocco is with Palestine, even though the government is with Israel. And during these protests, so it started very peacefully. That's after the boycott of medical students. It started very peacefully. And then the police started answering to those protests with violence. We had some videos. It was just it was horrifying. I saw videos of police cars driving right into citizens. We had a lot of deaths. We had a lot of injured people. And when the citizens felt that the government did not care for them, and that it did not care about their well-being, about them at all, they started reposting, but with the more violence. So that's why we had very, very violent protests in Morocco at a certain point. And what I started understanding, because I was very sad and I was very angry about the situation. So I started thinking, why doesn't the government just listen to those requests? Why don't they actually open the door to negotiation? And the truth is, the we vote for political parties that do not benefit us. And because why do we vote for those political parties? Because they're big political parties, and because the youth is not interested in politics anymore, because they're so disgusted by it. They're so appalled by the political world, that they decided not to take part in it. And that is why we have old people. But that's also the reason why people don't vote anymore. Young people, they don't vote as much as they used to, and even if they vote for big political parties. They don't take the time to look for smaller political parties who may have better ideas, who may care for the people more than those big political parties. And I feel like we're in a vicious cycle where we don't like what's going on, but we don't take an interest in politics. We're just so disgusted, so appalled by the situation, that we decide to shut off our phones, go on our social medias, make fun of a TikTok, of a video,
Or
and then
or
there's
making fun of the government
elections.
themselves.
Exactly. So they're elected, and then we're not happy with the situation. They do whatever they want, and we stay in this vicious cycle. So I genuinely believe that I was pretty happy when I saw the Gen Z protest, but it kind of saddens me when I see that there's not a follow up, because it showed us that if we really want to, we can have an effect on a big institution, whether the Ministry of Health, the Ministry of Higher Education, with with medical students. Here, to be honest with you, the Gen Z-led protests in Morocco did not have any good outcome, which only resulted in a lot of injured people, a lot of death, a lot of arrests, and people detained because we don't have freedom of speech in Morocco. We don't have it, even though we speak up about the causes that we think are causes we should fight for, but we don't really have freedom of speech. So if I do a video about Palestine, or if I do a video about how I'm angry about politics, I might not be detained, I might not face consequences, but it's just because it's not very important. But the moment it starts getting views and people start agreeing with me and people start following me, I can go to prison. I can face very, very, very bad consequences. So we did protest, and we said no to a very, very harsh living situation, because in hospitals in Morocco, they're just atrocious. I'm a medical student, and every day I wake up and I have to go there, and I have to see people suffering, and I have to see how weak the infrastructure is, how the medical training quality is declining, how we don't have enough material, we don't have enough drugs for our patients. Even the administration is not working effectively. So I see all of this, and the patients see this, and then they do big movements such as the Gen Z-led movement, but there's not any follow-up. And that's I think the saddest part about this. It's not about how the government should care about us, because let's be honest, let's think like a businessman, because most politicians are businessmen. Why would I invest in a hospital that's making me lose money and where I don't have any gain? And in the same time, you're gonna see that Morocco, we're hosting the 2030 World Cup. So people are angry about the fact that we're hosting a 2030 World Cup, that we're building a stadium, a huge stadium. I saw it's amazing. And we have horrible hospitals, we have horrible living conditions, we have horrible transport. So you understand that the reason why they invest in such big projects, it's because there's a return. But why
Yes.
would I, as a businessman, invest in hospitals, in schools, in infrastructure? I don't gain anything from it. So that's our role to rise to positions of power, to say no, we want to be part of the decision making, to not just be passive spectators of our own lives. We need to do something. We need to raise awareness about the fact that our vote, our protests, and our just the fact that we're speaking up does matter, and it can change things.
Yeah. So to add on what Leila is saying, I think we have that freedom of speech, and we have that power to make sure that what we want can be either done directly or indirectly. So indirectly is through the MPs, and directly is through us protesting. And I was very much honored and surprised about what happened with the Gen Z uprising here in Kenya. It's something that we have never seen. And as I said, we did not have leaders or people whom we were looking upon to. But we were also being able to notice that the Gen Z are now taking their vote. Previously, the youth were not voting. Most of the youth were not voting, and but right now, when there was registration through the Independent Electoral Commission, so many of the youth came out with their IDs. For example, all of my friends that I have, 20 of them, they are now registered voters. In the previous elections, they were able to be registered as voters, but they did not register as voters because they said it does not influence me on who will be the leader. But after that, and after what we experienced, we saw that now we are going to look upon 2027. We don't want such leaders in office, because right now we are not in the middle-aged period where you could manipulate people and tell them that you have this, maybe let's say magic trick, you can do this, you can bring this, you're a great leader. No, on this earth we were all born equal, and we need to get everything in equity. So for us as the Gen Z movement, more people have taken vote. We are waiting for 2027. We are not yet on mute. We are keeping on check on everything. We cannot, the government cannot justify itself with building infrastructures right now, doing everything. We know who they are. They are wolves hiding under the skin of a sheep. We know them. We truly know them. And we know the leaders that we will want. And to make a good example, recently we had a by-election, a mini election in a constituency for an MP and an MCA. And we saw Gen Z, anyone was able to vow for the seat. And we saw multiple Gen Zs vowing for the seat. What did that show us? That showed us that we can do this. We can get into that government. And that surprised me most, because right now we can see Gen Zs getting into the electoral process for them to be elected as leaders, which was something that we saw that in the past you needed to have to be in a party for you to be voted for. But here in Kenya, you can be voted even without a party. You can be an independent candidate without a party, and that's what we as Kenyans have been working on. And I'm so much I'm so much happy with the Gen Z on what we are doing. Yeah, and I'm very much ready for the next election we have in Kenya in 2027. We will be ready to get every culprit, every manipulator out of that seat. I don't know what will happen, but we will ensure, at least in each constituency that we have here in Kenya, over 270 constituencies, each and every constituency have a Gen Z trying to represent the constituency. We will come out, we will give out our votes, and we will know how to keep these people out, because it doesn't matter on what party they are. We want people who can be human, ensure that the kids in Turkana who don't even have a classroom, who are learning under trees, have a classroom. The kids who even are not having a meal, have a meal. That's what we are working on. We want that kind of a leader, not a leader who sees that he needs to go to Dubai, he needs to go to USA to see a match, instead of ensuring that in every constituency we have a local hospital where one can be treated. For example, where I come from here in Madare, during the night, you have to, when you get sick, for example, you have to leave from one constituency to another. You will go past 9 kilometers, over 10 kilometers, over even 15 kilometers for you to get to that hospital to get the right treatment. And when you reach that hospital, you get much stranded, and the hospital that you know that you will be getting that kind of assistance, you will get much stranded. And this is why, this is because the leaders are not acting correctly. And we as the Gen Z movement, we will not sleep. We will not sleep. I ensure you that the Gen Z are not sleeping. Each and every day they are doing activities. And I was so much impressed on how we are doing this. For example, the Gen Z have been contributing, donating to people who are facing different kind of needs. For example, there was a boy here in Kenya whose father was facing a kind of needed medical attention. The Gen Z showed this by donating to this person, going to the place, ensuring that the boy is well off, and this was a total stranger to them. But the Gen Z, they came up together and did this. So we are always united. Even right now, that we are not even in the protest. We are awaiting the elections. We are very ready. I assure you that I have my voter's card, and I will make sure that I have voted out a bad leader and voted in a good leader. We need leaders who are human, who can see the equity that we have. For example, in my constituency, Madare, when the MP, the representative of Madare, comes to Madare, he comes with a lot of security to this place. This was the place that he was elected by the people. So the people are not against him. He doesn't even need that much security. The security will be from the people of Madare. And why does he come with security? Because he knows he has not done well in Madare. And when he does well, he does not need security. The security will be with the people of Madare. But because he knows that he's not doing well, he comes with security to protect him from the people that will try to put him to account. Why did you not do this? Yeah. So those are the kind of leaders that we want to vote out. And we are very much ready. We are with our votes. I know we as the youth, we are having the majority of votes here in Kenya because we are the bigger percentage. And we will ensure each and every youth is giving out a vote. And to what we have been planning as the Gen Z on X, each and every Gen Z have suggested that on each polling station that we have in each ward, we will be having TikTok live, ensuring that we also have our counting of our votes, not only the government counting their votes. So we will be also counting our votes, not only the Independent Electoral Commission. We will be on TikTok live in at least in each and every ward to ensure that there is no manipulation, there is no any kind of stealing of votes or any kind of cheating during this voting process. So we will a lot try to do what is good. I'm so very much proud of the generation that I was born in, because these are the most human people I have seen. They are the most kind-hearted. For example, any kind of help that you need, and any Gen Z notices this, they try to bring it upon for everyone to see. And when the people verify that you are under a genuine circumstance, they ensure that you are helped, you are getting that assistance. Yeah, that's what the Gen Z are, and I'm so very much proud of them. Not only are they moving good politically, we are moving good as humans. We want to ensure that we're living as humans, not just as greedy people who want only for themselves and for their families to be well. We want each and everyone to be well. And if any other circumstance may happen, we will be truly sorry from our hearts, maybe any circumstance that may happen. But our main goal is to ensure that everyone is living a good life, because that's a possibility. Everyone can be living a good life. It doesn't matter where you're coming from. You can be living a good life. A good life is having the basic things that it's not as stressful for each and every day. For example, the mother who sells cereals and kales and any other foodstuffs. They need to not to worry about them paying their rent and their school fees, because you will find them stressing out that they need to pay rent, they need to pay school fees, they need to pay the medication for their children. We want to ensure that if the constitution suggests that there will be free education, it will be free education, so that this mother will not only have the kind of stress for education fees for her children. So we want to ensure that each and everything that is suggested in the constitution is met, and anything that is illegal, that is illegal and going against the constitution, is withdrawn, because the government is trying a lot to do in putting acts that are against the constitution, acts and laws. Yeah, for example, they saw the movement of Gen Z using the social media, of how great it is. And some of the Gen Zs were taken to court and they were charged as terrorists. And we were wondering, how can you be a terrorist because you are against the government actions and you have the right to going against the government? That's what the Gen Z is suffering from right now. The government is trying to catch the social media so that the Gen Z cannot use it. But I assure you, the government does not own the social media. It will be much powerful for us to use it as our most powerful tool. So the most powerful tool that we know we Gen Z have is the social media. And this enables us to connect. For example, me, person in Madare, to connect a person at the corner of Moyale, near Somalia, so that we can connect and ensure that we are having a good country, a good continent, and a good world that we are living in. Yeah. Thank you.
So thank you also Stephen, Leila, and Lushuma. We're gonna go. I'm gonna ask the question. You guys can think about it, and after that, the storytellers will take place to tell the stories. So we're gonna talk about police brutality after the storytellers. So think about it, and we're coming back to after the stories. Thank you.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the question. Can you repeat it?
Oh, the question.
Hoor mijn verhaal. Deel mijn strijd.
The question was police brutality. So it's just a subject, not especially a question, but a subject.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Palestina en Sudan. 3 landen verbonden door een kapot systeem. 3 bevolkingen die strijden tegen genocide en onderdrukking. Samen komen we in actie. Ga naar www.hetglazenhuisvanverzet.nl. Luister, strijd, doneer.
25 jaar. Mahmoud Harim, 25 jaar. Ook ik accepteer de aanval van Hamas niet op 7 oktober. Maar waarom moest mijn moeder dood toen zij hulp zocht voor haar kinderen en kleinkinderen? Ik ben zo boos op Israël dat zij onschuldige burgers vermoorden. Het was 2016 en ik was 16 jaar. Ik woonde in de regio Al-Rimal in Gaza. Ik wilde boekhouder worden. Toen ik op een dag naar huis liep van school, kreeg ik een granaatscherf in mijn linkeroog. Israël had een huis gebombardeerd waar ik toevallig langs liep. Artsen van de UNRWA hadden me geopereerd, maar het heeft niet geholpen. Door de granaatscherven kan ik met mijn linkeroog slecht zien en ik heb heel veel last van hoofdpijn. De derde oorlog die ik meemaakte, in 2019, was reden om een veilige plek te zoeken. Ik ben vertrokken uit Gaza. Na een lange asielreis ben ik in Nederland aangekomen. We zijn de oorlog in Gaza beu. Ik ben geen lid van een organisatie en ik heb geen connectie met de politiek. Toen ik Gaza in 2019 verliet, was de situatie erg moeilijk. Maar nu is het veel slechter. Mijn tweelingbroer, Ahmad, en ik hebben een hele sterke band met onze moeder, Maryam. Wij zijn de 2 jongsten van een gezin van 6 jongens en 2 meisjes. Op de dag van offerfeest stuurde mijn moeder een bericht via WhatsApp, waarin ze vraagt hoe het met me gaat en dat ze me mist en wenst mij een Eid Mubarak. Ze vroeg me een bericht terug te sturen, een spraakbericht. Ik had nooit gedacht dat dit het laatste bericht zou zijn dat ik van mijn moeder zou krijgen. Elke dag lees ik de woorden opnieuw. Ik kreeg dit bericht toen ik onderweg was naar Nederland. Ik droomde ervan om haar te zien op een veilige plek. Mijn moeder was op weg om eten te halen voor de familie toen Israël bombardeerde. Mijn broers hebben dagenlang naar mijn moeder gezocht. Uiteindelijk vonden ze haar in een ziekenhuis. Toen mijn broer mij het bericht stuurde over de dood van mijn moeder, kwam dit als een bliksemschicht binnen. Ik voelde me heel erg verdrietig. Mijn moeder gaf me energie, kracht en uithoudingsvermogen. Ik ben dat allemaal kwijt. Ik voel me hulpeloos en machteloos als mijn 65-jarige vader om brood vraagt en ik niet kan helpen. Het is moeilijk om contact te hebben met mijn familie door de slechte internetverbinding. Vaak is er geen internet. 3 weken geleden is mijn neefje vermoord in Nuzarat-kamp door kogels van Israëlische soldaten. Mijn broer raakte gewond en mijn vader, zijn vingers zijn geamputeerd. Ik ben Mahmoud Arim. Hoor mijn verhaal. Deel mijn strijd.
Hoor mijn verhaal. Deel mijn strijd. Je luistert naar het Glazen Huis van Verzet. Van 19 tot en met 22 december vanaf het Schouwburgplein in Rotterdam. Samen komen we in verzet en halen we geld op voor de Democratische Republiek Congo, Palestina en Sudan. 3 landen verbonden door een kapot systeem. 3 bevolkingen die strijden tegen genocide en onderdrukking. Samen komen we in actie. Ga naar www.hetglazenhuisvanverzet.nl. Luister, strijd, doneer.
Het verhaal van Shira Kaza. Het vertrek uit Khartoum was een aangrijpende reis, gekenmerkt door wanhoop om medische hulp voor mijn schildklieraandoening die koorts, duizeligheid, hormonale onevenwichtigheden, slecht slapen en gewichtsverlies veroorzaakt wanneer deze niet wordt behandeld. Toen ik met mijn moeder, broer en zus vluchtte, verloren we het contact met mijn vader en 2 andere broers in de chaos van de oorlog. Ik hoop dat ze nog in leven zijn. Het leven in het kamp staat in schril contrast met ons comfortabele bestaan in Khartoum. Mijn familie wordt geteisterd door ziekte, waardoor we vaak naar de MSF-kliniek moeten voor hulp. Er is een groot tekort aan voedsel en water, waardoor we gedwongen zijn om werk te zoeken om te overleven. Als je niet alles op alles zet om werk te vinden en een beetje geld te verdienen, sterf je gewoon van de honger. Ooit studeerde ik diergeneeskunde, maar nu lijken mijn dromen ver weg te zijn, gezien de onzekere toekomst. Ondanks het gevoel dat mijn familie uit elkaar valt, blijf ik hoop houden. Door het uitbreken van de oorlog op 15 april zaten we vast in ons huis terwijl het geweld buiten escaleerde. Omdat onze middelen slonken, verkochten we onze bezittingen om te kunnen overleven. We lieten onze dierbaren achter toen we vanuit Khartoum naar Kosti vluchtten en uiteindelijk naar het transitcentrum hier. Het leven in het kamp is zwaar. Mijn moeder en zus hebben moeite om zich aan te passen aan de omgeving, vol vliegen, muggen, ratten en wilde dieren. Kosti lijkt in zekere zin ook op Khartoum. Er heerst hier heel veel onveiligheid en criminaliteit. We zijn van plan om naar Joda te vertrekken en vervolgens naar Renk. Dit hier is sowieso een tijdelijk transitcentrum. Het leven in het kamp is zwaar. Mijn moeder en zus hebben moeite om zich aan te passen aan de omgeving. Oh, dit is dezelfde stuk. Ondanks mijn pogingen om medicijnen voor mijn schildklieraandoening te krijgen, heeft het ziekenhuis van het kamp niet de benodigde medicijnen. Ik heb mijn aandoening aan de dokter uitgelegd en hem de naam van de medicijnen gegeven die ik gewoonlijk gebruik. Hij kon mij niet helpen. We wachten op mijn 2 broers die nog in Kosti zijn, van wie er 1 aan schizofrenie lijdt. Zijn terughoudendheid om zich bij ons aan te sluiten komt voort uit financiële beperkingen. De wrede realiteit is dat geld onze keuzes bepaalt. Onze reis hangt af van zijn vermogen om zich bij ons aan te sluiten. Dit is mijn verhaal over overleven, te midden van de beproevingen van ontheemding en ziekte. Ik ben Shira Kassa. Hoor mijn verhaal, deel mijn strijd.
Hoor mijn verhaal, deel mijn strijd. Je luistert naar Het Glazen Huis van Verzet. Van 19 tot en met 22 december vanaf het Schouwburgplein in Rotterdam. Samen komen we in verzet en halen we geld op voor de Democratische Republiek Congo, Palestina en Sudan. 3 landen verbonden door een kapot systeem. 3 bevolkingen die strijden tegen genocide en onderdrukking. Samen komen we in actie. Ga naar www.hetglazenhuisvanverzet.nl. Luister, strijd, doneer.
Mijn naam is Daniel Kalalisi. Ik studeer natuurkunde in Bukavu, de hoofdstad van de provincie Zuid-Kivu, in het oosten van Congo. Ik ben ook klimaatactivist hier in Congo. Ik werk samen met veel bewegingen, lokale organisatoren en enkele internationale organisaties. Voordat de rebellen van M23 arriveerden, richtte ons activisme zich op plastic afval en het gebruik van plastic in onze stad, omdat dit zeer gevaarlijk is voor onze gezondheid. Het vernietigt meren, waardoor we minder vis hebben. Daarom hebben we vorig jaar, voordat onze regio door de rebellen van M23 werd veroverd, veel campagnes, acties en bijeenkomsten met de lokale bevolking georganiseerd over het gebruik van plastic en de gevolgen daarvan. Er ontstond een opstand tegen plastic afval. Als natuurkundige heb ik ook met een lokale organisatie samengewerkt om ons plastic afval om te zetten in een cementvervanger voor bestrating. Ik heb veel campagnes gevoerd ook over klimaatverandering in ons gebied en veel artikelen geschreven. Maar het is erg moeilijk voor mij om als activist iets te ondernemen vanwege de bezetting door de M23-rebellen hier in het oostelijk deel van Congo. Ze hebben ons gebied 2 maanden geleden ingenomen. Ze zijn begonnen in Goma en een maand geleden zijn ze hier gekomen, naar Bukavu, de hoofdstad van Zuid-Kivu. De scholen zijn gesloten vanwege de gevaarlijke situatie waarin we terecht zijn gekomen. Ze vochten tegen onze defensietroepen. De FARC, het leger van Congo. Ze vochten hier in ons dorp, waar ik nu ben. De raketten kwamen neer op de wegen vlak bij ons huis. Sinds hun komst hier in Bukavu en Goma is iedereen angstig. Activisten werden vermoord en nu zijn er geen meer in onze regio. Want als ze ontdekken dat je een activist bent, word je meteen vermoord. Vanwege ons activisme denken ze dat we tegen hun bewegingen zijn en dat we ons verzetten tegen hun strijd. Ze vermoorden mensen op welke manier ze maar willen. Hun eerste doel is om de regio te controleren. Want als je de regio controleert, kun je daar doen wat je wilt, omdat je als eigenaar wordt beschouwd. Als ze in onze stad zijn, onze regio zijn, controleren ze die. Toen de oorlog in Congo begon die hier in het oostelijke deel, boven onze mijnen. Omdat we hier in het oostelijke deel van Congo zijn, hebben we de meeste mijnen en die willen ze hebben. In Noord-Kivu, in Goma, delven ze. En wat ze delven, wordt in Rwanda voor een lage prijs verkocht. Het is bloedmijnbouw. Om het te verkrijgen, moest het bloed van onschuldigen worden vergoten. Wij kennen ons land. Wij zeggen, geen Congo, geen telefoon. De telefoon die ik hier gebruik is gemaakt met Congolese delfstoffen. Zonder Congo is er niets. Ze heffen ook belasting. Als je bloemen op straat verkoopt, moet je hen iets geven als belasting. Ze controleren de belastingen, de delfstoffen en het land. Ze doen wat ze willen. Ze controleren het verkeer van mensen, ze controleren scholen, ze doen wat ze willen. In hun toespraken zeggen ze dat ze bevrijders zijn, maar bevrijders vergieten geen onschuldig bloed. Ze doden mensen met hun wapens, ze nemen mensen met geweld mee. Het zijn geen bevrijders. Sommige van mijn vrienden, die activisten zijn, bevinden zich in een ander gebied. Ik ben hier nog steeds alleen als activist tussen de mensen met wie ik werk. Mensen studeren niet erg goed. We hebben niets te eten. Als ze ontdekken dat je een activist bent, word je vermoord. Als ze ontdekken dat ik een activist ben, word ik vermoord. Mijn vrienden en mede-activisten zijn al vertrokken omdat ze een paspoort hebben. Maar in onze kring van activisten ben ik alleen en zit ik hier vast omdat ik geen paspoort heb. En zonder paspoort kan ik niet vertrekken. In Kinshasa zou ik de kans hebben om een paspoort te krijgen en te reizen zoals ik wil. Ik heb heel veel kansen gemist om deel te nemen aan conferenties buiten Afrika, omdat ik geen paspoort heb. Maar nu we in oorlog zijn, is het voor mij nog moeilijker om er een te krijgen. We bevinden ons in het oostelijke deel van Congo. En Kinshasa ligt in het westelijke deel van Congo. Het zal erg moeilijk zijn om in Kinshasa te komen. Dus moet ik naar de grens met Rwanda gaan, waar ik een document kan krijgen dat een paspoort vervangt. Met dit document kan ik ook naar Rwanda reizen en van daaruit naar Kenia of Ethiopië. Van daaruit kan ik het vliegtuig nemen en in Kinshasa aankomen. Maar wat moeilijk kan zijn is het geld hebben om het vliegticket te betalen. Maar als ik het geld heb, kan ik morgen zelfs al mijn paspoort gaan halen. Ik wil gewoon in veiligheid zijn, waar dat ook mag zijn. Maar ik zou graag hier terugkomen om mijn studie voort te zetten, ook al studeren we niet meer, zoals voor de bezetting. We werkten en vochten voor ons land, voor klimaatrechtvaardigheid, voor vrede in ons land. Maar de mensen die hier zijn, die ons gebied bezetten, zijn hier gekomen en hebben alles vernietigd. Maar we zullen onrechtvaardigheid in ons gebied bestrijden. Mijn naam is Daniel Kalilisi. Hoor mijn verhaal en deel mijn strijd.
Hoor mijn verhaal, deel mijn strijd. Je luistert naar Het Glazen Huis van Verzet. Van 19 tot en met 22 december vanaf het Schouwburgplein in Rotterdam. Samen komen we in verzet en halen we geld op voor de Democratische Republiek Congo, Palestina en Soedan. 3 landen verbonden door een kapot systeem. 3 bevolkingen die strijden tegen genocide en onderdrukking. Samen komen we in actie. Ga naar www.hetglazenhuisvanverzet.nl. Luister, strijd, doneer.
So, welcome back everyone. I'm gonna do the donation thing again in Dutch. Luisteraars en kijkers, jullie loon is nog steeds binnen. Jullie kunnen het nog steeds doneren. Voor Congo, voor Democratische Republiek Congo, voor Soudaan, voor Palestina. Het geld wordt ingezet voor verschillende goede doelen om de lokale bevolking daar te helpen. Dus doneer gewoon je loon. Dan komen wij op ons streefbedrag van 125.000 euro. So coming back to you guys, I made a subject, police brutality, and I think it's nice to start with Lushama. You are one of the Gen Zs, so the floor is yours. Your mic is off.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, on the issue about police brutality, I can say since independence, Kenyan security forces have at times relied on heavy-handed methods, especially during protest periods, election, and security operation. Over the years, reports have been documented. In this police brutality, we have seen extrajudicial killings. We have seen excessive force during protests. We have seen torture and also sometimes enforced disappearance, which we are witnessing up to now, and abuse of marginalized communities by the police. And maybe I can say maybe a small history about incidents and crisis moments in police brutality. During election, police response is not as friendly as it's supposed to be. For us, we know the work of police is to make sure that they maintain law and order. But when it comes to this, most of the time we see when the police respond, we have deaths and injuries. Example, even during the COVID-19 in 2020, we saw police killing and assault cases increase as officers enforced curfew. Many Kenyans feared the police more than the virus during that time. Coming to 2023 and 2024 during anti-government protests, we saw a lot of CSOs and journalists documenting the police brutality. Causes of this, I think, in our police we have a problem in the police system because we are using the system that we call the colonial system that were there. So right now we don't have a police like you can say that the police are doing their job. For example, in police system, we have weak accountability. Few officers have been prosecuted or convicted for abuses. Very few, very few in number. Not all, but very few. Like out of 10, I can say 1% of the police officers, they are the ones who are facing the charges. But the rest, they are walking free because they have their godfathers. So for me, I can say the impact of this brutality, it has brought a lot of fears and hatred to the police. The people, we hate police. Even me myself, I can say it. I hate police because the police, they are not doing their job. You see, the police are supposed to maintain law and order. The police are supposed to be independent. They have to be they have to come with their own this is we are supposed to do this, but not to be told to do this. It's kind of different. It is opposite. Instead of police doing their own job independently, they are being told to do. They are being told what to do and how to react. So we don't have independent police service, but we have the police force that is being enforced by the executive. When I'm talking about the police or the struggle, and I can say the struggle for justice and reform, Kenya has attempted reforms. I can name them maybe few, creating oversight bodies like the Independent Police Oversight Authority, of which we call it IPOA, but it has been not functioning. It is just there as the name, but not functioning. So, and we have given them like many cases from informal settlements, but the response for them is not wanting. And also, we have also created judicial inquiries and legal reform aimed to improving accountability, but it is not doing as it is supposed to do. Civic society activism, public protest, and human rights reporting, all reports are against the police. There is no report that is suggesting or saying supporting the police and say that the police are doing a good job. There is no job that the police is doing. Instead of police working, they just selling fear to the people. Like they are still using the system, the colonial system that were there during the fighting of first liberation of Mau Mau. They've come also to the second liberation when we were fighting multi-party democracy. And also they come also, now we are here as an uprising, and it's still something that is still continuing. So for us as a human rights defender, it is a democratic problem. A nation cannot claim to be governed by law while its law enforcers violate rights with little consequences. These issues is essential. Social justice, national cohesion, trust in the institution, true security. In short, police brutality in Kenya is a systematic challenge that has cost many lives and eroded trust in state institutions. But its persistence has also sparked strong activism and demand for reform, showing that many Kenyans refuse to accept a nation where fear replaces freedom. So like I said, I am a victim of this police brutality. I am a victim of this police going against the constitution. Like I said, when we deliver petitions, the police are supposed to give us security so that a person from outside cannot infiltrate and do protest instead of being a peaceful protest and make it to be a violent protest. But instead of police doing their job, they come. You see, when you start to protest, it's always peaceful. But the police are the ones who comes and violates the protest. So the police, even if you look, I can give you an example of the police. When you look at the pictures that were taken during the uprising, Gen Z uprising, the police are holding a big battles, guns. So it is an issue that has been happening. We have been facing police brutality, police extrajudicial killing, police disappearances. These are the people that are working. These are the people that are doing this. I was beaten. I have been beaten, not once, not twice, not. I think it is many times. We have been detained. I have been detained with police by the police. And if you come and tell them what I am doing is on the constitution, what they charge you with, you will find that they charge you with terrorism, and you ask them, how does fighting for your right becomes to be a terrorism? How when you are fighting, you want a good country, you want the country that cares for the people, you are being charged with unlawful assembly. And the Constitution says that we have the right to assemble, we have a right to picket, have a right to demonstrate. So how is this wrong? The police are the ones who are breaking the laws, not the people. The people are there to make sure laws are being followed, but the police are there to break the law. So you ask, between you and me, who is supposed to follow the law? The police, they cannot give the answer to this. What the police knows is just to follow order. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's the only word that they know. When they are being told everything, they just salute and say, yes, sir. Yes, sir. There is no police officer who will stand and say that, sir, this is not right according to the Constitution. We don't have such people in the force. And I think that's where we are still fighting and we are still pushing for this. In my community, I have seen a lot of police brutality. Like in this community that I am in, being a youth it's like a criminal offense. Like only just being a youth. Like you are a threat to the police. Being a youth, the police sees you and he says like, "No, come here," and then he arrests you just like that without any charges. He arrests you and takes you somewhere else just to extort money from you or your parent.
If I may add on what you were saying, Lishuma, it's that the question we ask ourselves is why does the police act this way when all we're doing is peaceful protests? But yes, they are following orders, but when you see it from another angle, you can understand that it's a controlled and strategic use of force, and you're gonna see that in most protests that begin peacefully, violence tends to emerge during forced dispersals. So that's when we see batons, physical intimidations, there's arrests, and sometimes there's judicial pressure. So this form of brutality, it's often selective rather than massive. It's targeting the visible participants, the organizers, or the outspoken individuals. So what they're doing is they're relying on fear rather than dialogue to restore orders, because the governments cannot offer solutions. And you can kind of see how it links to Palestine, Sudan, and the Democratic Republic of Congo. I'm not talking here about the equivalent of suffering, but there's a shared logic of power. So you're going to see that in Palestine, civilians face systematic state violence, and there's a lot of criminalization of resistance. And in Sudan and Congo, populations are going to endure armed violence and repression, and near total impunity, while the international community hesitates or looks away. So it's this violence, police brutality or police violence, serves a similar purpose. It's to control the narrative and suppress solidarity and kind of limit who is allowed to be visible in the public space. So, like during Moroccan protest, expressing solidarity with Palestine, it's going to reveal something very important. It's that solidarity itself is being treated as a threat. So, you can understand that whenever you see police brutality, the question you shouldn't ask yourself, why are they acting like that? You should understand that their strategy, because it's not the police strategy, it's rather the government strategy. It's to restrict empathy and shrink civic space and discipline moral outrage. So we're kind of, I think we all live in systems where the government is going to rely on force, fear, collective conscious, a bit like, I don't know if you read the Prince of Machiavel, but he did refer to that, how a dirigeant, the word in a leader, a leader is gonna use force to keep order. And when you think like that, you stop saying it as simple injustice. You see, there's obviously injustice, and there's because they're violating human rights, but you see it as strategy. And when you see it as a strategy, it does not affect you anymore, because the idea of fighting against police brutality or not giving up even when there is violence, you do it because there's a why. We say that he who has a why can bear anyhow. So when you understand the strategy behind the police brutality, you understand that all they're doing is trying to disperse us, to punish empathy, to punish solidarity. Then you're gonna see more collective consciousness and solidarity between the people, and they're gonna fight better against the police brutality to defend the causes they believe in.
Yes, maybe to touch on maybe the causes behind the problem of police misconduct in Kenya. These things are driven by multiple systematic factors. I can name them, we have weak accountability. By saying weak accountability, few officers are prosecuted or convicted for abuses, as I said earlier. And also we have this we call institutional culture. Some training and operational practices normalize violence, and they don't act or react when police are doing violence. Like, they have normalized it. And I can say also we have this something called corruption and impunity. This is led by bribery, framing suspects, and illegal detention undermine credibilities also of the people. And maybe I can say poor working conditions, low pay, and inadequate resources can fuel corruption, aggression in police force. Even if you see the environment the police are living in, it's not one thing. It is something that is, they live like us. They live in iron sheet houses instead of living in a good working area. And also I can say the impact, maybe human impact on this, beyond statistic. Police brutality shatter lives. Families lose breadwinners through killings or disappearances. Survivors face trauma, disability, and stigma. Communities have lost trust in law enforcement, making crime fighting harder. Like right now, I can say something like people are more afraid of police than anything else. So for us as human rights, we always engage police and tell them police are not our enemies, but the things that they do is the things that we condemn, and we want them to do as it's supposed to do. But instead of following that, they are doing opposite of that. And I think it is something that as a country in Kenya, we are still people, our human rights, we are still fighting for this until we get a system whereby a police officer will work according to the way it's supposed to be. Yes. So I think if I will have anything to add, I will add on as I give my other speakers moment.
Yeah. Yes. So, can I speak?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. So, to speak about police brutality, there is what has been said by Lichuma and Leila about the police independence. I can say here in Kenya, police can be seen as are not independent. And I want to give two comparisons of the police and the defense forces. That is the Air Force, the Army, and the Marine services that we have in Kenya. When I was comparing the two, the defense forces, the Kenyan defense forces, seem to be more independent than the police. And it is the police who needs to be more independent, not having being biased on maybe on the side of the government or the side of political party. So the police are not independent, but the constitution says and states that the police needs to be an independent institution, and that cannot be seen. So looking upon the three arms of government that we have in Kenya, the executive, the legislature, and the judiciary. The judiciary is the most independent arm of government that I have seen that has been working. Comparing the judiciary to the police institution, the judiciary is more independent and doing its own work and what it's supposed to do rather than the police. For example, I as a youth in the Madar, when I'm approached by a police officer, I assure you that when I bring out my constitution and read it out to the police, 90% of the police do not know the constitution, and they may arrest you for nothing biased on what law you have broken. So the police are much more ignorant. They believe that when they are recruited in the police institution, they become the government, and they can tell you in Swahili, why are you threatening the government? Because we are the government as the police. And that's not true. The police are not the government. They should be an independent institution. And from their slogan, the police, they have their slogan written in Swahili saying utumishi kwa wote, which means service to all people. And that cannot be seen because the police only service the government. For example, during the protest, the police needed to protect us not to get hurt, but they were the ones who are hurting us. The police are not even afraid of the constitution because they know we are above the constitution. The government will be able to cover for us. But we could also see a video circulating online of how they killed Boniface. Yeah, Boniface was shot dead with a shotgun with a rubber bullet on his head. And this was seen and recorded in a video. And the police showed people that we are not afraid of the most powerful tool, which is the social media. But the police who did this, what was he done? He was separated by the government. The government said, no, you are not now one of us. Now you will need to face the consequences. So because it circulated on the media and it painted a bad picture of the police, now the government decided that the police who did this needs to be arrested. But when we look to the cases where the police shot many people dead during the protest and all the kind of police brutality that they do, they never account for. So the police are afraid of their image being painted very bad. So they want for them to be seen as good institutions that are independent. And in reality, they are not independent. They are run by the government. They are run by the leaders. The police, usually, in the daily lives that we have, they refer to the leaders, the member of parliaments, as they are the high excellencies. And they fail to understand that these are people that we have elected. They are equal as us as the citizens of Kenya. The only thing that they have special about them is the duty they need to do, which is to work for Kenyans. But they are referred to as people of a higher hierarchy instead of people who need to serve us as the people. So we elected the leaders to serve us, and the police need to know this. We are not from, this is a democratic country. We are not in a country where it is run by like a kingdom where you need to follow the law that is coming up from above. We as a democratic country, we make the laws and each and every person should follow the law. So the police are not much independent. And this is resulting to more police brutalities that we are seeing here in Kenya. And mostly towards the youth. And I will speak to the about the boy child, who are the most ignored here in Kenya. So when a boy child or a male figure is encountering a police, especially people who are coming from the slums, they usually see you as a threat. They usually see you as a crime doer. Uh, any kind of crime that they may suspect that you have, they even don't do any investigation. They know that you are doing this. They know that you cannot escape this, but in reality, they are not doing their work. And for the boy child, that's a major hard thing to do. And there are various crimes that are done here in Kenya. For example, the leaders, the greedy leaders, taking people's money, taking public money. That is a crime. And the police cannot do much investigation on how this crime is being done in the government, of the public money being taken away by the greedy leaders. But when, for example, we had a recent case here in Kenya, a leader known as Jirongo was involved in a car accident. So the police are coming out to try to investigate that this was not a normal car accident. It was like a murder. Yet, looking upon other people, other Kenyans who need to have equal rights, equal because the Constitution makes us all equal. There is no kind of investigation that you can get. Even, for example, during the protest that we saw, a kid being shot at when he was back at his home, in the balcony of the apartment. There was no accountability going towards this case to know whom fired the shot towards that kid. There was no police officer that was investigated. Yet, when leaders die, they now seem to do much investigation that this was not a normal death. This has to be accounted for. Yet the minor cases that we have, they never accounted for. So police brutality is much coming from the ignorance that the police have about equity for all people. I will not be speaking about equality, but equity for all people. The police need to know that each and every person needs to get equal service as they do to each and everyone, not giving special treatment to suggested leaders, giving equal treatment to everyone, because no one should be above the Constitution. Police should be guided by the Constitution, and let the Constitution be as their Quran or their Bible. Let the Constitution be their guide. Yeah, I will just suggest that the police brutality, will be always speaking about it. We don't know if it will come to an end. It will come to an end when the police start following the Constitution, doing what the Constitution suggests and says and states, instead of following orders. Or they always say orders from above. And when you try to follow up about where are these orders from above coming, you will go to the OCS. The OCS will take you to the county commander. The county commander will take you to the general police officer, and it will always going back to the president. And you can see this action was done by a particular officer who is at the least kind of leadership. Maybe let's say a constable. He did the decision. He or she did the decision, him or herself. So independence comes from one particular officer who is at the ground following the Constitution, not minding about orders coming from above. Let the police should know that they should be following the Constitution, not following the orders that come from the above. Because when you follow the Constitution, there will be no charges about you doing a certain activity, unless it's outside the Constitution. Yeah, so police brutality, it's a major thing that we are facing here, mostly here in the slums, mostly here in Madare. A single particular youth cannot even walk by. For example, I myself, I was walking upon in Madare. I have my phone, and this was one of phone that I was gifted, which is very much expensive. So the police came and caught me and told me, where did you get this from? This is your class. And I told them, I'm an artist, I do paint a lot, and this I received from a gift. So they demanded for me to give them a receipt of the phone. And lucky enough, I had everything that the phone was brought with. So I came up with everything, the boxes, and they saw this, and now they were able to release me. So this kind of treatment, this kind of treatment, because the police are not following the constitution, and this should be the Quran or Bible that they need to follow each and every time. Yeah, thank you.
So a lot of police brutality is in Kenya and in Morocco. We in the Netherlands have also problems with the police. Myself personally, I hate them from the bottom of my heart with all love.
Yes,
Yeah,
I hate them a lot.
yeah, we don't trust them at all. Every time when the police comes, we immediately take our phones out and all are
Yes.
filming them because that's evidence against them. They don't act from the law. They are racist as hell, especially towards people of color, people who are homosexual or queer. We see it a lot, and they are not protecting us against the extreme right fascists here in the Netherlands, and that's why we made a group. They call themselves Protest Alliance Watch. They are comrades here in the Netherlands, and they are just like securities, but not with the certificate. So they walk with us at demonstrations with body cams and point of phones to communicate and film everything as evidence against the police and the fascists. What I heard is that you guys have in Kenya also some system like that to protect each other, but Morocco, can you tell us about that, Leila? Do you guys have some system to protect each other from police brutality?
We don't have a particular system we put in place to protect each other. We're just very strategic in the way we protest. In the Gen Z led protests, we had the WhatsApp group where we could alert each other when the police was gonna come. But apart from that, we just run away and try to make a run for it, and that's it.
Okay, yeah, we don't run. We are putting arms we lock on each other, and we are not gonna move. They have to take us because we resist but not in a peaceful way. Because when you just standing and they want to take you, you can lay down, and they have to be careful to move you in the bus. And sometimes we have also the undercover police. They are brutal as hell. They kidnap you. So they come from behind with masks on, so you can't recognize them. And it's like they put a bag on your head. Not really, but they putting your head down, so it feels like you have a bag on your head and you can't see anything. They trying to break your arms. It was one, yeah. They did it once with me, so it was a good experience. But
wow, it was a good experience. You enjoyed it?
I loved it because I know I was in my right, and I know that my comrades were filming. So I was fine, okay, let's go, bring me to the bus, drop me in a station, put me in jail, I don't give a fuck. Do it. Because I'm gonna start a lawsuit against you guys, all of you.
Yeah.
So that's...
But
yeah, sorry.
Yeah, it's complicated. I don't know what I think because
I think it's
Since we
also
don't trust
very different in Morocco and Kenya
judicial
because
system.
they don't kill us here, not yet. Maybe later they will do because they are fascist. But yeah, I don't know if that happened in Kenya or
I'm
in
sorry, what?
Morocco. They are not.
In Kenya mostly what the police do is they do not threaten you, they kill you.
Yeah.
They use the live bullets. So they use the live bullets, they aim at you. They are not even hesitating. They aim at you to kill. They usually have the slogan, not the official slogan, but they say when you kill one bird, the others will fly away. So they do that. They try to randomly select person, they aim, they shoot, they kill for people to disperse. And they do that a lot. And they believe that when we kill, no one is accounting for us. But luckily, we did not, the police don't have body cams. They don't have anything that they can keep them on check. But luckily for us, as the Gen Z and people who protest, we have our phones out. So we take our phones out. And recently, with the recent protests that have been happening, there have been images and videos captured with police killing, and most the police have been taken to court. The government has demanded the police to be taken to court so that they can paint a good picture of them. So that's what has been done, but it is not yet fully. That's not fully being, we can say, being accounting for police brutality. So we need to have a good system so that they can be accounted for. And it is really bad. It is really bad on what they do. I suppose this is given during their training, because maybe they are trained. They are not to go and serve the people. They are trained to go and kill anyone who is against the government. Go and eliminate anyone who is against the government. That's maybe what they are trained for. We don't know what they are trained for, because their slogan says that they need to come to serve the people. But they are not serving us. They are always, if they are not killing you, they are harassing you. You have not done anything, you are just walking by, they come and harass you. They say, you know that it is illegal to smoke bang. For example, for me, because I have dreadlocks, you are a smoker, and that's illegal. You need to go to jail, and that's not totally true. They just try to come up with those kind of things. Yeah.
We have in Morocco we have a very defective judicial system. There's a lot of corruption. So even if a policeman was to get filmed, or like in Oujda, it's a city in Morocco. They use their how do we call them? It's like big cars, big police cars. They used to literally drive in the crowd. So some people were killed, some people were injured, but there was no plaintiff. I forgot the word. I'm so sorry. But sometimes I speak 3 languages, so whenever I speak, I'm gonna use one word from this language, one word from this. I'm so sorry, but there was no follow up, no judicial follow up. There was no punishment for the policeman who did that. And in police brutality, we don't have kidnapping, or they don't wear masks, but they have their helmets on. And during the peaceful protests of medical students, when they would start pushing us to get a reaction from us so that they can start getting violent, we would not answer. We would just stay next to each other. We would stay. We would keep the protest peaceful, but technically the police has the right to do anything as long as it's an order from the government or from the king. So there's not really a way for us answer to this brutality. All we can do is continue doing peaceful protests and try and make a real institutional change, to change the laws, or to at least make sure they're properly followed.
But I hear you now saying for the third time, I thought, for that we have to peacefully protest. But as far as I know, peaceful protest doesn't work anymore. The time of talking, we are past that time. We need to have direct actions. In the Netherlands, we are already doing direct actions to companies who are complicit and who have to be targeted. So I have no idea how it is in Morocco or Kenya.
Yes, I completely understand. And it wants me to go back, I think, on to what Steven said about the fact that Gen Z is a very powerful generation. I